Every time. Every time I start recording, the song ends. I need to time that better. So I apologize that you guys started like on a silent video. But today we are here talking spoilers. Yeah, I guess I should. I took the spoiler away. I'll put the spoilers up for the latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now we are an anime only show, guys. I have not read ahead in the manga, so if you have, congratulations. But please no spoilers in the comments. I really appreciate it. I don't get many comments on my videos, but you know, just in case you guys want to talk theories or something like that, if you know something that I don't, that I'm theorizing about, like, is Megami really Toji's son? Is it our Megami? Is it a different Megami? If you know that answer, please don't tell me, because I don't want to know. I just like theorizing. I mean, I want to know, but not because you know. I want to know when the show tells me. But we are starting off, and this is Hidden Inventory Part 2, Episode 2 of Season 2 of our 5-episode arc. I can't remember what it's called, but like I think it's called like Untimely Death, which I don't like that title at all. And I really, it's gonna be tough for me to say that I don't like every episode of one of my favorite shows of all time. But I really did like this episode because it's everything you want in anime. There's emotional moments, there's some good world building, some questions get answered, possibly. And there's some good action in there too. So I mean, like, and there's one of the funniest moments I've seen, especially from this show, ever. I was full on belly laughing, and we'll get to it. But we start off with Geto already, like, having defeated the person that, you know, like, he went to the apartment room, it blew up, he flew away on a curse, he rescued the girl, and the guy's like, I challenge you. And they're from Q. I think it's what the organization called as Q, which is a bunch of curse users. And he's already beaten him, and oh my, he's not only beaten him, he's making tea. Sorry, I woke up at like 8 a.m. this morning, guys, to go get my passport done, so if I'm a little tired, I apologize. But he's not only beaten him, he's got him trapped, and I couldn't tell, I watched this twice, I couldn't tell if the guy was like half swallowed by this curse, but on top of that, the curse is saying, kiss me, in that weird curse voice that they use, and like, he's begging to be like, okay, I'll not be a curse user, I'll go farm, and Geto's like, no, you can't farm. No, you're a curse user. You don't know how to farm. Like, stop saying you know that. And it's just like the most haunting thing ever, man. Like, just, honestly, just kill me. Just kill me at that point. If you're not gonna let me go, just shoot me in the face. Let alone, like, being swallowed up by a curse. Oh, that's yelling, kiss me in my ear. Oh my god, that's just, the more I think about it, the more disturbing it is. And then, you know, the guy's like, oh, but our strongest warrior will avenge me. And then Gojo's already beaten him. So it's like, I wrote down, it's like equally frustrating and funny that, like, yeah, I want to see some anime fights because I know how badass both of these guys are. But it's also funny that, like, these guys aren't even worth animating. Like, the artist's like, guys, they're going to beat him. There's more action ahead. We don't need to show you this because it's already done. Like, they're already beaten. It's okay. Gojo and Geto are gonna have plenty of like action in this arc. They won. We unite. You guys know they were gonna win. They're gonna win. It's like, it's almost like One Punch Man, where like they don't show half the fights because it's like, yeah, dude, he's gonna punch them once and they're gonna be dead, and that's what this is. Then they show Toji, and you kind of get, and I'll spoil a little bit ahead of like what the plan is and why he's doing this. So apparently, what is the girl's name? Choco, no, that's not it. Oh, I had her name written down. Rico, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I had it written down, and I should have, like, capitalized it. There is a 48-hour bounty for 30 million yen, which I did the math. I didn't do the math. I Googled it. It's about $216,000 of money to kill Rico in the next 48 hours, and they've got it like basically on the curse user. What's that called? It's like called Fiverr. They've got it on the curse user Fiverr for 30 million yen, and you've got 48 hours to complete it. And Toji basically tells his handler, like, I don't think I can beat Gojo because he's got the 6 eyes and the limitless technique, which is like some more Easter eggs, which is really cool. So I might be able to beat him, but if we give a bunch of random goon curse users, a bunch of NPC curse users, 2 days to be constantly attacking them, by that time, maybe I'll jump in and maybe I can beat him. And that's basically the plan, is that like he knows how strong Gojo is, and I'm sure he knows who Geto is as well. And you know, he knows like they've got Jujutsu High behind them, and like the good curse users behind them. So like he knows we've got to wait. We've got to pick our moment here. And at the end of this episode, I'm wondering, because we're already on episode 2, and I've heard this is a 5-arc episode. I could be wrong about that. But I'm going to assume either by the end of next episode, or obviously by episode 4, he's going to get into the fight. I don't know what the time lapse is going to be between the end of this episode and the next episode. I don't think much, especially with how this episode ends. But yeah, so I think that's a really good plan, and I don't like it, especially because this thing is called Untimely Death. And like, I've avoided spoilers really well, like manga spoilers, but like everyone's talking about this guy Toji. Everyone says like how badass he is, how he pushes Gojo to his limits and stuff like that. So that's all I've heard. I'm not going to go any farther. I really have done pretty good, but like TikTok is so bad with that. They're like, oh, do you like anime? Here's every slide of the manga that just came out, just in case. And you're like, oh, great. I didn't know what this was. I just saw Jujutsu Kaisen, and I wanted to watch the TikTok, and it's not fun. But yes, I think he's going to get involved next episode, honestly. I don't think it's going to be episode 4. I think Toji's going to get involved this next episode. But I do love that line at the end. He's like, oh yeah, how's Megami doing? And he just pauses. He's like, who's that? It's like, oh, is that our Megami? Is that I'm guessing that's our Megami, because I'm guessing that's why Sukuna is so interested in Megami, is because he knows who his dad is, or can tell who his dad is. And he's got like that evil curse user energy in him, which I'm very excited to see come out, you know, in the Shibuya arc. Because I hear nothing but insane things about that. The opening, God, the opening's so good. But the opening is just so much fun. I love the opening. I've listened to it so many times. But we end up in the hotel, and the girls wake up, and of course she wakes up with Gojo holding her in his arms, punches him, calls Geto the bangs guy, calls him weird, and he like smiles, like, and then you see them like wringing her out like a dishcloth after that. It's so funny. And I do love, but this is like a good moment to where like, it's one of those moments where she's like, oh, I want to go to school. And you're like, no, dude, they already rescued you from 2 bad curse users. There's like, they don't know there's a bounty on her head, but like something's going on. We should get back to Jujutsu High. But Geto does make a good point, is that like, even with all her like brashness and like, you know, like bravado, like, oh, I am going into Tengen and Tengen will be me. He will have my will and my heart. That's not true. She's being absorbed by this curse user and will just be like a barrier for the rest of her life. Or however long like he needs, like until like he needs a new shell. And it's just like, it's sad, man. And there is a moment watching it the second time, after the really funny Gojo moment where like he's running away with her, and she's like, oh, what are we doing? He's like, do you want to get your friends involved? Like, there's more curse users after you. Something's going on. And you can tell like she kind of like, okay, like she gets it, but like that's gonna be possibly the last time she sees her friends and anybody she cares about. And there's a nice moment with Kuroi, with Geto, who's the maid, and she's like, oh yeah, she doesn't have family, like she just has me. And so Geto goes, oh, so you are her family. And it's like those little moments where Geto understands certain things, like they're both protagonists in their own world. And because Geto's the one that's like, Gojo, don't be insensitive to this, like Like, this is going to be the last time she sees her friends and family or anybody she knows before she becomes like a cursed spirit living in the underworld, basically. And so it is like a sad thing, and Geto understands that. Hey, what are you doing there, cat? This is our once a video cat interruption, and now she gets to be on camera. She hasn't been on camera in a while, and she just likes it. She likes the cat. She likes to interrupt. Like a baby. This, guys, is what you get when you get no editing equipment. You get a little cat. A little cat cameo. Okay. Pop. Need to dust my computer. I think there's probably cat hair in there. There's definitely cat hair in there. I live in an apartment. But they go to school, and then Geto's like, oh, 2 of the curses I've got watching her just got exercised. Let's go. Geto runs into a curse user. He's an old man. He's wily. He's springy. He knows how to fight. And it's funny because he's like, oh, he's a curse manipulator. He can't do close combat. And it's immediately flashback to Zero, where when Panda fights him, like, they know he's a curse manipulator as well, but then as soon as Geto punches Panda, he's like, oh, he's good at close combat too? It's like, I guess, you know, in those, like, curse user classes, that's not usually the norm, but we know that now. Geto easily beats him. There's a great moment where, like, he jumps through the window, he's gonna attack Geto, and then you see, like, a little Shibu. It's like, oh, my dog from my childhood, you were so sweet. Oh, my life is flashing before my eyes. Oh, I get it now. And it's a great moment. And that's where Geto gets all the information about the bounty and what's really going on. They fight a bag curse guy who's like going clones. But before that, we have Gojo bursting into a room full of middle school girls. And they all go insane for him. Oh my god, I was crying laughing at this because of course Gojo loves it. He, like, takes his glasses off, he models, he poses, does all the different things, and they're just, like, fawning. It's literally like the internet in one thing about Gojo of how hot he is, and it's so funny. And even the teacher's like, you can't come bursting in here. Here's my phone number. And all the students are like, hey, you can't do that. It's so funny, but also, why is a teacher giving a high school student their phone number? But still funny. But one of the funniest moments in anime I've ever seen. I was dying laughing, and even when I watched it the second time, it was still very funny. But then Gojo grabs Toki, not Toki, Roki. Sorry, Rico. God, I'll get it right one day, guys. Grabs Rico and gets out of there, and they fight the baghead curse user. And I watched this twice, and I'm sure someone can explain it because I'm big dum-dums of how his curse technique works. I tried to write it down. The infinity stuff is so cool. Basically one-handedly magnetizing that dude. Hitting him with the red reverse, but it didn't work. So, and I believe that's the curse he hits Jogo with in the first season when he's fighting him in the forest, is the red reverse technique. So he's mastered it by that time. So maybe he really hasn't gotten it down, or he was bluffing and just didn't want to kill that guy. But the infinity stuff with how it works of, like, he's the center and everything else around, like, it's, we know the infinity stuff where, like, as things get closer to him, they slow down and eventually they just can't touch him. I love that, but then, like, expounding the infinity stuff, I need to write it down and get it because I just don't understand. I can't, repeat it here, but it was really cool hearing it explained. And I'm surprised, like, I guess because, like, the guy was so weak, he doesn't perceive him as a threat. It was more for us of like, this guy's so weak, I'll explain my technique to everybody right now. And I really like that. It's just like more information we get about this world and how things work, because like we've seen Gojo fight once or twice, and we don't know, he's just like a god. Like he's he beats the crap out of Jogo, beheads him, and like almost kills him if it wasn't for Hanami rescuing him. And then he teleports over to Itadori and teleports back, floats on water, flies around in the middle of the air, destroys the veil, teleports over to the coat rack guy and, obliterates him, like crushes his arms and legs. Like he's just doing everything and we don't know how it works, and this was like a great explanation of that, and I wish I could give it back to you guys, but go watch the episode. It's much better explained. At the end of the episode, that's where I kind of think that like Toji is like about to get involved, is that he's like, okay, I see where this is going. Maybe I'll get involved a little early. And I like that because I want to see, that's who we came to see. It's fun to watch, you know, our heroes, and I know Geto was not a hero in the end, but our heroes in this arc beat up on peons. It's fun to see them like flex their powers, but it's fun to see them get challenged too, and I'm really excited to see that because we've never seen Gojo get challenged. We've never seen him get challenged. Like, Miguel got his ass whooped in Zero. Jogo got his ass whooped. Like, all the other curse users, like, just get out of his way. And I'm excited to see him get challenged. It's going to be a good time. And Kuroi has been kidnapped. Did Toji kidnap her? I don't know. And I wrote down maybe one more episode with randoms, but I think he gets involved into the fight this next episode. I think at the very least, hey, calm down over there. I think at the very least, he's the cliffhanger for the next episode, but I think he'll show up at least in the second half. So literally like a perfect episode of anime where you get knowledge about Gojo's technique, you get knowledge about what is going on, that there's a bounty on Rico. You get like some good emotional moments where, you know, Geto's being pretty empathetic about like what she's going through and what she has to deal with. And then you get some pretty good action. Yeah, it's our heroes, you know, beating the crap out of goons, but you know what? That's always fun. I have a lot of fun with that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please note manga spoilers in the comments. I appreciate y'all so much. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Bye-bye.